That was Rafat, who is the editor of Gaza Writes Back, a collection of short stories written in English by young writers from Gaza, published by Just World Books in 2013 and available in the hall. Rafat received his MA in Comparative Lit from University College London and is currently completing a PhD in English Lit at University Putra, Malaysia. He has taught at the Islamic University of Gaza since 2007, and he sent this audio message under some duress, especially to this event from Malaysia. And we really appreciate him putting himself out like that for us. To everyone watching online, we are tweeting Gaza Webcast. We're watching at worldcan'twait.net. We are on Facebook. We are sending a big message to the whole globe that people in this country have to stand up and reject the U.S. government's full support for the crimes of Israel. I want to just recognize the small crew of new and old friends who got together to pull this event together in 10 days. William Lee is in the room, and he and I were at a discussion at Revolution Books led by Alan Goodman just the week before last, and we felt very strongly that there had to be a large gathering in New York City, in this country, that rejects what our government is doing. And I really appreciate it's hard even for people who are seasoned activists to step out with moral certitude sometimes, and the people that have worked on this program have certainly done that. Give them your thanks as well. Hanna Mermelstein is a member of Adalah, New York, the New York campaign for the Boycott of Israel, and a founder of Librarians and Archivists with Palestine. She is a school librarian in Brooklyn, New York, and has led more than 30 delegations to Palestine. We welcome her.
Thank you. I'm here to talk about some of the long-term work that Rafat talked about a couple minutes ago that must be done. When there are massacres in Gaza, people naturally wonder, what can we do? We can and must get out in the streets and protest. We can and must respond to requests to call our congresspeople and the White House, if nothing else, to let them know that their support of genocide has not gone unnoticed. But ultimately, our elected officials and others in power will not change their minds without a sustained grassroots movement. In 2005, Palestinian civil society gave the world a gift with the call for BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions. It is a principled, rights-based movement that unifies the groups of Palestinian people that Israel has tried so hard to tear apart, and gives people around the world concrete action steps to take. Now more than ever, we see people supporting a boycott of Israel. And now more than ever, it is important to root ourselves in the Palestinian call that started this movement, in its demands, goals, and methods. The movement has 3 demands: ending Israel's occupation and colonization of all Arab lands and dismantling the wall, equal rights for Palestinian citizens of Israel, and the right of return for Palestinian refugees. Any successful BDS campaign will address one or all of these demands and will not undermine any of them. It's important to note note that BDS is a tactic, not a dogma. What does this mean? First, it's a response to anyone who says, why boycott Israel? What about fill in the blank with any country committing atrocities? But nobody in the BDS movement says Israel's the only country in the world that deserves to be boycotted. Most countries, and certainly most companies, probably deserve to be boycotted from a moral standpoint. But BDS is a tactic. Palestinians have called for it, and it is effective. We know it's effective because the Israeli government is spending millions of dollars to try to fight it. We can also point to specific successes. Veolia's loss of billions of dollars in contracts because it provides services to Israeli settlements, dock workers from San Francisco to South Africa refusing to unload Israeli ports, artists from Elvis Costello to Cat Power to Snoop Dogg canceling performances in Israel, Angela Davis, Arundhati Roy, Judith Butler, Sarah Schulman, and so many others speaking up in favor of BDS. Statements supporting academic boycott from the Critical Ethnic Studies Association, the Arab American Studies Association, Native American and Indigenous Studies Association, and the American Studies Association. Divestment from select companies by both the Presbyterian and Methodist churches. Resolutions at universities throughout the country. The Soros Fund recently selling its shares in SodaStream. Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Chile, and El Salvador withdrawing their ambassadors during the BDS. And the list goes on. BDS is a tactic, not a dogma. This also means that lists of thousands of products to boycott are not particularly helpful. I've seen lists going around that include McDonald's, for example, which is one of the only companies to have publicly refused to open a store in a settlement, and Starbucks, which has a section on their website specifically saying they do not support Israel. So before reposting lists that we see, we need to do a little background work. There are other reasons you might not want to go to McDonald's or Starbucks. But if you're specifically trying to support Palestinian rights, you can check whoprofits.org or try to find out if there are ongoing campaigns about particular products. Adalah-NY, the group I work with, has a flyer that highlights 11 companies doing business in New York and why they're boycottable. Some of the flyers are out there for you to take. Some of these are targets of campaigns around the city and beyond. Code Pink has a campaign against Ahava called Stolen Beauty. Jewish Voice for Peace New York and Adalah-NY are both targeting SodaStream and those who carry it. Students for Justice in Palestine activists at various campuses have pushed to get their cafeterias to stop selling Sabra hummus. And if Subway ads can be trusted, it seems Tribe is growing right now, so we should watch out for them as well. New Yorkers Against the Cornell Technion Partnership, NIAC, is fighting against the joint campus currently being constructed on Roosevelt Island. Adalah-NY has targeted Lev Levayev for years, getting celebrities to stop modeling his diamonds, governments to divest from his company, Africa Israel, and Africa Israel itself to claim that they would stop building settlements. We still show up at Levayev's store in December each year to sing holiday carols. We also conduct creative protests outside performances by Israeli cultural institutions who are sent around the world as part of the Brand Israel campaign. Groups like the Batsheva Dance Company and the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. We're often joined at these protests by the marching band, the Rude Mechanical Orchestra. Yes. And this is important. It's singing, dancing, skits, making BDS visible and fun. Flyers that are also comics that people are more likely to take than a flyer with just words. Creativity, strategy, background work, and diligent research. All of these are vital for any successful campaign. Now's a crucial time to get involved in BDS. Not just in a call for the boycott of every company you can think of, but actual BDS campaigns. Join one or start your own. You can be in touch with the BNC, the BDS National Committee in Palestine, at bdsmovement.net, and Adalah-NY is also happy to help. Adalah-NY.org. Thank you very much.